Hello and welcome to Your New Jersey. I'm Lisa Marie Falbo. On today's show, we'll travel down to Wildwood, New Jersey to learn about their summer fun activities. But first, with Independence Day around the corner, we have Carrie Giannotti from the New Jersey Vietnam Veterans Memorial Foundation. Carrie, welcome to the show.
Hello. Thank you so much for giving us this opportunity to talk about one of the best kept secrets in the state of New Jersey, but not
Well,
for long, I hope.
no, well, now that you're on here, definitely not. And like I mentioned, what better time to introduce you to the masses? Tell us all about the wonderful works of your foundation.
All right. So the foundation is two parts. It's the memorial, which is dedicated to the 1,562 men and one woman from the state of New Jersey who paid the ultimate price in the Vietnam War. And then the other part is the first and only museum in the country dedicated to the Vietnam era. And when I say that, it's not just exclusively the war, it is the entire era. Both are in a circular fashion. And what I love about the museum is that there's a circular timeline. So, as a history teacher, the bottom part is all events that happen in country, and the top is all of the cultural events. So, it really is an inclusive telling of the Vietnam War. In addition to the memorial on the outside of our property, we have the Gold Star Families Memorial. We have the U.S. War Dogs Memorial, and we also have the Women's Meditation Garden, along with the Vietnamese American Memorial, which tells the story of our allies who we have a fantastic population of South Vietnamese people who have come to the United States and have decided to partner with us and helping us tell their story.
So much to unpack there, Carrie, but what struck me is that there is only one Vietnam Memorial Museum in the entire country, not even in Washington, D.C., just one here in New Jersey.
Yep, we are so fortunate that we have it right here in the Garden State. And the wall is kind of like our parent organization. So obviously, the National Vietnam Veterans Memorial is down in DC, and it's the Black Granite Wall. And it's part of our history too, because when that opened in 1982, a group of 14 of our veterans from New Jersey took the walk down there, captured all of the rubbings of the names of the residents from New Jersey, and brought them home to Homedale and at Garden State Plaza, where the memorial would be located. And then we got our project off the ground from there. The museum is a secondary piece to the memorial, and that was kind of inspired by the wall as well. Maya Lin had said when she designed the wall in DC, it would be a beautiful memorial, but it needed an education center too. And since it's on the mall, it's harder to build a building that would be a memorial there. So we had a ton of space on our property. We are 5.5 acres. So we were able to get both the memorial and the museum together.
Well, I'm happy that we had the room in the Garden State. You don't hear that quite often to house something so important to history. And I know that you have events not only just in the summer around Independence Day, but all year long. Tell us about them.
Well, thank you for pointing that out because the summer is the perfect time to visit us because we're right off the Garden State Parkway. So as you're heading down the shore, don't forget to come and see us. In October, we do a POW MIA event, which we also celebrate the Gold Star families. And what I love about that is we're making sure people understand that families serve alongside of those who serve in war. And it's a great opportunity to honor brothers, mothers, sisters, wives, and children who too have paid the ultimate price. We are the official site for Veterans Day in the state of New Jersey, which is one of our best attended ceremonies and one of my favorites because the memorial does look so stunning. In the center of our memorial, we have the red oak, which is the New Jersey state tree, and just the fall colors make the memorial really shine and light up. It's absolutely stunning to see. We partner with Wreaths Across America in December, and we have wreaths at every one of the panels in the memorial, which is beautiful and heartwarming and still lighting it up even in the midst of the winter. And then we have Memorial Day as our last big celebration, and that we offer 2 college scholarships to 2 New Jersey seniors who visit our memorial and write a reflective essay. And you can't help but not feel an emotional connection to the war. And those students do such brilliant jobs of really driving home what it is we do here at the New Jersey Vietnam Veterans Memorial.
It's been obviously many decades since the war. Do you find it difficult to keep the memory of what our country went through alive? Or are you seeing maybe a renewed interest, because I feel like everything old is new again, right? A renewed interest from this generation of students to learn about what happened?
I think what we do best at the New Jersey Vietnam Veterans Memorial is our tour guides. All of the tours are given by Vietnam veterans who served in country. We have a tour guide that represents every branch of the military, including the Coast Guard. There were 5 that served in Vietnam: the Army, Marines, Navy, Air Force, and the Coast Guard. And yes, they'll tell you about the stunningness of the memorial and all the symbolism that's built into it. But you also get their personal stories, which makes no 2 tours the same. So I would encourage you to not come once, but come often, because you're really going to want to hear all those stories. And I think the Vietnam era does have a lot of relevance, especially we look at so many issues today that are kind of haven't been resolved since the 1960s and 70s.
Tell us about your background and how you got involved in the foundation.
So Vietnam has always been my favorite era in history ever since I was a student. I went to Kean University, where I had a college professor who was a Vietnam veteran, and he also served on the committee that helped pick the photos for our permanent exhibit in the museum. So I would not have gotten here if it weren't for James Janderwitz, and I owe him a ton of gratitude for that. I had brought my kids personally, who I teach at Bloomfield High School, for years. I presented at one of their forums, and when we got a grant from the New Jersey Historical Commission, they were able to bring me on staff part-time, and it really has been one of the best things ever. I think it's such a complicated era, and I think what's great is you are able to hear it from a human perspective, and somebody standing in front of you telling you what it was like there.
Why did the Vietnam era speak so deeply to you?
You know, everybody asked me that, and my dad didn't serve in Vietnam. He was a few years younger. He graduated in 1972. But I think it's just the complicatedness of it. I feel like I've heard a ton of stories, and some days, as much as I've studied, I don't understand why we were there. I don't understand what it was like to serve and be out in the jungle for 365 days of the year. And that was one of our tour guides had that experience. He was an infantryman. He was out in the jungle for 365 days. He didn't take an R&R. He'll all out tell you that his mom had passed away. His dad had passed away well before the war. All he had was a sister. He didn't have a girlfriend. And I mean, he's out in the jungle for that entire year, not getting letters from home, not writing to somebody. And it's just, to me, it's unimaginable what that was like to have served. And we have other great stories that, you sit there and you're like, it kind of makes it a little more real, but it was such a complex time. And even we did at the New Jersey Council for the Humanities, we did a professional development workshop where we had one of our volunteers who actually after the war married someone who protested the war. And we kind of did a side by side and like, how did you serve? And she was protesting, and like, what was that about? And again, I think there's so many complex pieces to these stories that makes it so much fun to unpack and kind of interpret them and bring them to life.
And that you are doing, Carrie. Thank you so much for coming on here and spreading the good word about your mission. Where can people get involved or support you?
So we are always looking for people to come and visit us. And as I said, we're right off the Garden State Parkway on the PNC Bank Arts Center property. So please come and visit us and please hear these very, very important stories. Our website is www.njvvmf.org. And we also have a great social media presence. Each day we honor our fallen veterans from the Vietnam War on our Facebook page. We get a ton of interaction with that, especially from people's families who will see their loved ones post and add personal stories. You can connect with us on our website. All of our major events are listed. We have great ones for the general public, fantastic ones for teachers and students, and we're always looking to grow. So stay around and find out what we're doing.
Absolutely. And I know you want to shout out your new president of the foundation. Tell us about this new regime and what's in store.
We are so excited to have Amy Osborne join us as our president and CEO of the organization. She is a long time supporter of our veterans in the state of New Jersey, as she worked in the Department of Military and Veterans Affairs. She's got a amazing resume, which just exudes how much she loves our veterans. And we're in the midst of our capital campaign. We're trying to expand on the museum, increase more space for programs and exhibits. In the last couple of years, the amount of stuff that has been donated to our museum has increased significantly, and we just want to get more of it out there on display. So we're looking for donations. We're looking for people to attend our events and help support this wonderful cause of expanding the museum so we can continue to tell these stories in a very live and fresh way.
Carrie, thank you so much. Your passion for this shines through, and I hope that we got you the press that you need.
Oh, thank you so much. And I really can't say enough. Please come and visit us. It's the best kept secret, but not for long, I hope.
Krista Fitzsimmons, Deputy Mayor and lifelong resident of Wildwood, New Jersey, is here to tell us all about the summer happenings. Welcome, Krista.
Hi, good afternoon.
I just have to start off by saying I'm so jealous that you live in Wildwood. I live there every summer for a week, and I wish it was longer, but you get to experience it 365. So jealous.
Yeah, I'm a pretty lucky girl.
Yes, and Wildwood is one of the premier, if not the premier, summertime destination for sure. What's going on summer 2023?
So summer of 2023 is really looking very good. We have lots and lots of events that are planned. Our traditional events, of course. We start out our season, a little not slow, but we start out with our New Jersey State conventions. We host for years. We've been hosting the New Jersey State Elks Association, the American Legion, the Disabled Veterans, and these are big conventions that sort of ease us into the season, and it's a really nice way to start. There are more traditional, and then of course, right after that is our big Barefoot Country Music Fest, which we are in our third year, and we host 30 to 35,000 of our closest friends right there on our gorgeous Wildwood Beach.
Well, I was telling you off camera, I've been coming to Wildwood every year since I was a little girl, and we would celebrate the 4th of July down in Wildwood. What's happening this year for Independence Day?
So the same, we really do the same thing every year. It's a big fireworks extravaganza that we have right there on the beach, and our beaches are so big we allow people to come down on the beach. So we always come with our little blanket, and it's just it's safe. We rope it off and with plenty of distance from the fireworks, but the boardwalk gets packed, the beach gets packed, and you sit there, and it's about a 20 or 30-minute long fireworks extravaganza with music in the background. And if you've never done it, it's definitely an experience to behold, really. And really, it's just 4th of July. You don't really need anything else besides fireworks on 4th of July in Wildwood because it's already such a packed weekend. And there's nothing like sitting on the beach with your friends and family on a blanket while in between two amusement piers with a Ferris wheel and people flying through the air and twirling upside down and hearing the screams and smelling the funnel cake and the cotton candy and watching fireworks to patriotic music. You don't really need much more than that, quite frankly.
Absolutely not. It's perfection. And Wildwood is also a very patriotic place to begin with because you play the national anthem on the boardwalk at the start of every day.
11 o'clock every day. And I have to tell you, it really brings a tear to my eye. I get the chills just even talking about it. So the boardwalk at 11 o'clock is jam packed with bikers, runners, walkers, strollers, everything. And at 11 o'clock, everyone holds still and silent, and the national anthem is played. And one of our biggest events that we have all year it's called Beach Blast. It's a beach soccer tournament. So right after Barefoot Country Music, I should add that July starts all of our major youth sports beach events. We have soccer, flag football, ultimate frisbee, lacrosse, almost any sport. We have a cornhole, like any sport, we have a major event. and my kids play soccer, so I'm down there as a soccer mom, and the it's such a sight. The entire beach is full of soccer fields, like 160 soccer fields, full of teams and families and parents and grandparents all watching. And at 11 o'clock, it all comes to a complete silent hush. And everyone on the beach and the boardwalk put their hand on their heart and listen to the national anthem. And it just does bring a tear to my eye. I mean, it's chilling. It really is.
I concur. I ride my bike that I rent from Bradley Bikes from Diamond Beach all the way to North Wildwood and back every day. It's just part of my Wildwood routine. And if I'm on the boardwalk that late in the day, it really is a sight to see people coming out of the restaurants and from the arcades to pay homage to America. It's very cool.
It really is cool, and I have to add that we also have right on Ocean Avenue between Burke and Montgomery, we have a smaller version of the Vietnam Wall, which is really also something to behold. If and there's the names are on there, and you can ride past and see and watch family members, looking for their grandfather's name or their uncle's name, and it really is a nice tribute to all of our Vietnam vets, and a place where families can come, and don't have to go to DC or don't have to, travel any further, and find their name, and really pay their respects to the people they know and the people they don't know.
Wildwood was in the news this winter for the boardwalk renovations. Can you tell us how that's going?
Yeah, it's going really well. The response, of course, has been overwhelming, but honestly, we had to do it. We didn't really have a choice. The boardwalk was in some major disrepair, and before it became unsafe, we really needed to dig deep, roll up our sleeves, and figure out how to get this thing fixed and funded, and we did. And so we started phase one last year. We did 3 blocks last year with the help of the governor. He, committed to funding us every year, and it's a large chunk to bite off. So I think we had quotes of $60 million. Well, we're a little town, we don't have that kind of money, so we just decided to break it off into phases and do it piece by piece, and that's what's happening. So this year we did I think we did 5 blocks this year, so we're up to 8, and now we got to go to the south side, and hopefully we can get phase 3, 4, and 5 finished. And under 5 years, we should have the whole thing redecked. And more importantly, it's not really the decking. That was pretty much an eyesore. But really, the most important part was underneath, what was happening to the undercarriage of the boardwalk, and make sure that we maintained a safe place for people to come and and bike and walk and do all the things that they do every summer. So we're pretty proud of that, and excited to see it come to the end this year, and open it up, and then have the other 3 phases happen too.
Besides the renovations, anything new for the boardwalk in 2023?
Not that I'm aware of. I mean, there's some. I know Maury's Piers. They're doing some construction on their Adventure Pier, which is on the south side. They came to the planning board a couple years ago about some new food outlets, and maybe a bar. Not sure if that's what they're doing this year. I don't want to speak out of turn, but that's an exciting project, because it'll really bring life to the south end of the boardwalk. Anything else other than that? I don't think so. I think that's really it. I mean, we're trying to get for years we held our fall and spring car show, which is like the old fashioned cars up on the boardwalk. Cars that were born in the 50s are much heavier than they are now. So we really wanted to make sure it was safe. So we're hoping to get the car shows back up onto the boardwalk, which everyone loves. Food outlets and eateries, but that comes with a new year anyway, pretty typically. But we still have our traditional Sam's and Mac's pizza, which is the great divide of Wildwood. Are you a Sam's person or are you a Mac's person? So we always welcome that argument back.
Team Max over here. Max is awesome. And now I'm craving a slice of pizza, so thank you. Speaking of the south side of the boardwalk, that's where the convention center resides. What's happening this summer inside those walls?
they traditionally have they hold our shoulder season, the lion's share of our shoulder season, because July and August, Wildwood doesn't really need much help, right? People come, and a lot of the events are focused on the beach because that's where everyone wants to be. So the convention center does a great job with bringing in events during the spring and the fall, and they do a lot of like way off season things too, which keeps some of the hotels and restaurants full. They do a lot of cheerleading events. They do a lot of wrestling events, indoor basketball. So while during the summer we're doing outdoor sports, during the wintertime, the convention center focuses on the youth sports and their indoor activities. So it's a great complement between the city of Wildwood and the GWTIDA, which is the Greater Wildwood Tourism Improvement District, which is the convention center.
I think with COVID, is there such thing as an off season? Because I feel like the Jersey Shore is packed even in those long winter months now.
We definitely have seen an uptick of second homeowners coming back, and or some of them, relocating here, because now, this is a whole virtual world and people are still working from home. So we definitely have seen, and there's been a big push between the city of Wildwood, the Greater Wildwood Chamber of Commerce, GWTIDA, our Business Improvement District, to create reasons, again, for people to come, either stay longer or keep coming back to your second homeowner. I mean, when I was growing up, after Labor Day, everyone just packed up, closed up their houses, and that was it. Maybe they would stay until the end of September. But now we're really seeing that whole fall, like the full fall, past Columbus Day weekend, through to Thanksgiving, and even we've seen the birth of some really great Christmas events, Christmas time events here in Wildwood. So it's been really nice to see it sort of move along much further than I've ever seen it, certainly.
Well, as we mentioned at the top of this segment, you are a lifelong resident. What is your perfect Wildwood day?
So my perfect Wildwood day, as it has been since I can remember, is getting up in the morning and walking straight to the beach. I'm 3 blocks from the beach, spending all day at the beach, getting a slice of pizza. Can't say whether I'm going to Sam's or Mac's. I love them both. But then just spending all day at the beach, playing beach games, going home, showering, and getting right back out there on the boardwalk and hitting all of the rides and hitting all 3 piers. That's the ultimate day in Wildwood for me. I live right in the middle of town, and growing up, that was a great day during the summer. If I could get to the beach and boardwalk all on the same day, that was a great day. Now I'm older. I don't have the energy for all of that, but my kids certainly do. So we've been drug, many days, beach all day, boardwalk all night. It's the ultimate day.
Yeah. Well, the beauty of Wildwood is that your kids are experiencing pretty much what you did because it hasn't changed.
No, it really didn't. And I have to tell you, growing up, I did move away for a little bit. I went to college, moved to South Florida for a bunch of years. But I absolutely decided to move back because I 100% wanted my kids to have the experience that I had, because frankly, it was just the greatest way to grow up, right? And it's funny because people will say, oh, what do you do down there in the wintertime? Like, it's got to be so boring. It's just not, right? And especially when you have kids and you're a mom, I'm doing the same thing you're doing in Philly. I'm doing the same thing you're doing in, the suburbs. I'm going to soccer games. I'm going to basketball games. I'm going to PTA. I'm doing whatever, and we all have, and I work. So, it's just, I get to do what you do, but in a much more relaxed, laid back place with no traffic and no major commute. And I feel so lucky to be able to do that.
I'm very jealous that you get to live there all year long. I only get my measly week. Who knows? Maybe we'll extend that in the future. Krista, where can people find out all about the beauty of Wildwood?
Our website, wildwoodnj.org. That's where and I'll give you just that one, because from there you can branch off to the convention centers, the Chamber of Commerce, and get the whole events calendar. There's so much that the city offers. I didn't even mention we have Sunday night concerts. We have a new Arts in the Park series that we are doing, that we started a couple of years ago, trying to bring some culture to the guests and locals of the city of Wildwood. So there's so much more that we offer than just, beach and boardwalk. And we're really trying to, engage people and get them to stay as long as they can, and maybe even buy a second home.
From your lips to God's ears, Joe, if you're watching, my husband. I would love that. Definitely a bucket list item for sure. Krista,
Sure.
thank you so, so much. And we'll see you at the beach.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having me.
Thank you for joining me on another episode of Your New Jersey. I'm Lisa Marie Falbo. We'll see you back here next week.